This guy took some convincing, but it was one of those things where I asked, and I don't know why people are afraid I'm going to bite or something, but then out of the blue, I get a message. I'm ready to do it, David, and I'm so glad he did. Meet my friend, Matt Hutchinson. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. And I meant that. I was like, and it's funny, I don't know if it's laws of universe thing. I was like, I should just reach out to Matt. We should go for our usual meetup we hadn't in a while, and and then I put the phone down, and about an hour later was when ding, and I went, right on.
So, well, I think, to that point of it took some convincing, like even with Song Your Sings, asking me to do Song Your Sings, it was, looking back, it was an irrational fear that I had. And it was something that stemmed from when I was in elementary school that I just never overcame. And so to be able to do that and finally overcome that irrational fear was really rewarding, and
I was so proud of you, man.
It was a check off my bucket list too, so it was great.
And I remember I had talked to you about it a few times, and then you finally pulled the trigger to do the audition, and then I got that video still of you doing it at certain things too.
Yep, my father-in-law was there, and he took a video too. And, so it's good. Yeah.
And let's talk about that. Let's just jump right in.
Sure.
Like, where are you from originally?
So I was born in Windsor.
Okay.
Grew up on a farm in Essex, and then we moved to Leamington, and
Leamington,
tomato town, tomato capital of Canada, and grew up in Leamington. Definitely during my formative years, the years that I can remember, until I went to school. I went to school at McMaster. I went on a football scholarship, and then I blew up my knee, so I had to hunker down and focus on school. Thankfully I did, and graduated with honors, which allowed me to pursue my master's at the University of Windsor. That's where I met my wife.
Right.
And had all of that not happened in the way that it did, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
And met my wife. We both did international exchange. She went to Paris. I went to Florida.
Okay.
I finished a grad cert at the University of Florida. And then we had this mutual agreement where whoever got a job first, that's where we would go and make it work. And so Emily got a job in Sarnia, and that brought me to Sarnia.
Right.
Yeah.
And getting married, that was an interesting journey too. I know you shared a little bit of that with me, but you were kind of challenged at one point, were you?
I mean,
if you're going to marry me, you got to do this.
Really along the whole journey, because of my wife, Emily, her parents broke up when she was born, and her mom remarried, and it was really just that dynamic, her family dynamic and her upbringing, that led to this, like, I don't want to say like resentment, but reluctance to get married. And it took some convincing for sure, but I think it was the question of, what do we want this to be? And what does this mean to both of us? And for us, it was just a commitment to each other, not, given the cultural or societal system or anything like that, but a commitment to each other that this is for us, and we mean to be together for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah. And congratulations.
Thank you.
I know when that happened, I was like, oh, yes, right on. I was so excited for you. I want to go back, though. You said something that created this fear, and that was something that happened in elementary school. Can you talk about that?
Sure. It was just I participated in a talent show that we had at my elementary school, and I was, I think, like grade 4, so I would have been like 10 years old. And I got up there with another boy, a friend of mine, and we sang, it was a Toy Story, You Got a Friend in Me.
Oh, Randy Newman.
Yeah. And we did fine, but all of the other kids then made fun of us.
Right.
And so then it was this fear
kind of a bromance song.
Yeah. This fear of getting up in front of people, and
now fear of what other people think.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that kind of, in that sense, in that regard, that fear of what other people think, that still forms a lot of who I am too, and how I do things.
Yeah.
Right.
I found it interesting. Thanks for sharing that, because I found that interesting. Like being hesitant to do serious things, like, because the way I met you and how I know you, you're a pretty confident guy. You're not. I mean, you're a professor at a college, and
it's definitely hidden.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
Yeah, it's a
face.
Yeah.
But now you could do. No problem. You could do 8,000 people, right?
Well, I don't know about that. It's funny because Corey, who also cuts my hair,
right?
It was maybe a week or two later. I
didn't know that.
Getting my haircut, and he was like, that was pretty cool. That Starting to Sings thing, and I really like that. And he was like, "Have you booked any more gigs?" I was like, "No." But then it was, I think, literally a week later, a friend of mine was having a Canada Day party, and kind of birthday party for his wife, and wanted some live music, and so I was like, "Yeah, I can do some live music for you."
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because he was like, "I know you did Starting to Sings. Like, would that be something that you'd be interested in?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went out, and it was kind of while they
Don't forget us little people.
Yeah, while they were prepping dinner and whatnot, and he told me in preparation, we want just 90s music, 90s hits, and new country. I was like, "Yeah, cool. I can do that."
All right.
And I was gonna play for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And there was 20, 30 kids, like between the ages of 4 and 10.
Oh, okay.
With like 40, 50 parents, right? But a lot of kids. And so I'm playing like 3 or 4 songs, and everybody's clapping. They're into it. They like it. But then you got the sense the kids weren't really enjoying all of the songs that we're playing. They're like, "What is this?"
What is this? Yeah.
And so then they started asking me requests of songs, and I got...
Treehouse song?
No. Steve's Lava Chicken. It's from the Minecraft movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
I haven't seen it yet.
Lava, 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 chicken, 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 Steve's Lava Chicken.
So you knew it?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't.
They taught you
like,
the song?
what is this? And all in unison, all 20, 30 kids start singing this song. It's maybe entirely only a 30-second song.
Right.
I'm like, cool. There you go.
They were entertaining.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
There you go. That's good. So you enjoyed that?
It was fun. It was fun. I wasn't prepared for that,
right?
But it was fun. Made it work, and it was all good.
Well, music's a part of your family, though. I remember you shared. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, to go back, I remember. Dare I bring up the C word? The longest 2 weeks of our life.
Yeah.
But and then the college did some. I think it was Hey Jude.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a bunch of people contribute into this Zoom call, if you will.
Yep.
And there's Matt Hutchinson playing the guitar, and I'm like, huh? That was the first inside of music that I saw in you. Where does that come from?
So it comes from my dad. My dad got into music when he was young, and he actually his first job, real employment, was with the Windsor Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
Way back, that would have been in the 70s.
Yeah.
And he met Joe Conis, who was one of the conductors, orchestral leaders, if you will, and who was also the bass player, one of the many bass players for Jimi Hendrix.
Really? Wow.
And my dad started learning under Joe, and then helping Joe when they would go do orchestral shows for the Windsor Symphony Orchestra. And Joe would ask my dad, "Hey, can you come help out with this other show, this gig that we got going on?" And so my dad got to meet Jimi Hendrix, and he got to meet all of these other artists that Joe played with. He played with Eric Clapton. He played with Phil Collins. Like during that time, right? Like Detroit music scene.
Yep.
That also kind of flowed into Windsor too. Yep. And so a lot of the downtown Olette bars were getting pretty big acts at that time too. They didn't know it at the time, but yeah. And so my dad was a roadie and would play with different bands and whatnot, and he kept that going as like a hobby of his for most of his life.
So was he away a lot when you were younger?
No,
was this before this
was before we were around, and when I was born, and my brother and sister, it became more of a hobby, like a one-off thing for him. But yeah.
So then you learned guitar. Did he teach you, or were you self-taught?
So he knew the value of a piano as part of understanding music and being able to read music. And so I started taking piano lessons when I was 4 or 5, and did that for maybe 4 or 5 years.
Can you still tinkle the ivories?
A little bit. It's the old adage: if you don't use it, you lose it.
You know where middle C is, at least.
Yeah. And I still have some songs in the repertoire, but I don't have a piano. If I did, I'd probably practice more for sure. But the transposition of the keys on a piano transpose to the frets on a guitar.
Oh.
So when you understand that, and you understand from C to C, and that progression on a guitar fret board, then you know where to place your fingers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the chords that you play on a piano, on a piano, and the keys that you would play to play the chord transpose to the frets on a guitar.
Finger positioning and everything. Really?
Yep. I mean, it's a little different because
I'm going to go home and try that.
Well, it's a little different just because the strings on a guitar, E, A, every good boy deserves, not that, but E, A, D, G, B, E. Yeah. Those don't transpose directly to the C to C, right? So it's figuring out that transition, but once you do, so I moved from piano to bass guitar, because bass guitar you play mostly single notes, and really it's understanding your your arpeggios and scales and whatnot, and so you're learning how to play the do. I was never
a theory guy on the piano. I just played.
But then I picked up a 6-string guitar, and it was easy.
It was easy for you.
It was easy to learn. Obviously, to then learn how to play songs and to learn certain elements on a guitar, it took. There was a learning curve there, but
do you remember your first song? It wasn't that "Smoke on the Water" thing, was it?
No. No, I don't. No? I'm not sure.
I always hear that one, "Smoke on the Water." It's like, right, and then everybody's got to learn "Stairway to Heaven."
Yeah.
No. So music in there for sure, and then sports. You talk about sports like you were into football, and what about like in elementary school? Were you into sport? When did that first click in?
Hold on, going back to, I think I do remember my first song, and it was because my dad always played it. My mom loved it. It was Neil Young.
Like Heart of Gold or something?
No.
Harvest Moon.
Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Harvest Moon. Yeah, Harvest Moon.
Great song.
Great song. Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
My mom loved it, and that was, and I just love the intro, the high D. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It was good.
Well, let's talk about Mom before we shift over to that sports thing. Like, where was she in all of this? Like, I mean, your dad, worked, and did your mom work too, or was she a full-time mom?
No. So my favorite story of my mom and dad growing up. Now, this was before I was born, and my mom was in school at the University of Windsor, and she was studying HK, and she wanted to be a teacher, but she did an undergrad first and then went to teacher's college. Well, while she was at the University of Windsor, my dad was carrying a few jobs to help pay for her to go through school. Right. And so he was working at the Windsor Symphony Orchestra. He was working at the tunnel.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah. And helping to, carve out the tunnel.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It is crazy.
Right? Thinking about that. But then he would also, unbeknownst to my mom, he would take his earnings for the day from the tunnel, and he would go down to the docks, and he would fight for prize money.
Really?
And my
tough guy, eh?
Well, didn't know growing up, like, my dad.
She didn't know, like, there was a few bruises on the guy when he came home? Or
not for a while. Not for a while.
On my head at work?
It was just, he would come home, here's the money for school, and she thought that he was earning it from, building the tunnel and whatnot. If he had bruises on his body or whatever, he could attribute it to, something happened in the tunnel. Yeah. And until it was one fight, and this went on, my mom said, for, better part of a year that he was doing this.
Graduate of the Fight Club.
And until one fight, he came back and he was, bloodied and bruised and whatnot, and he laid the money on the table. He won, but he got beat, and my mom said no more.
Right.
And
what
so that put an end to that.
I love you, thanks, but no.
Yeah. But it was, I think it was like maybe 11, 12, and messing around in my parents' closet, and my dad had his judo suit.
Right.
He has a black belt in judo.
Oh wow.
Or his gi, and so I put on his gi, and then I find this box, and it has all these postcards and pictures and whatnot, and it's a picture of Joe Conis and all of his students that he worked with over the course of a year, or his lifetime. And on one end of this rock face is my dad, and on the other end is Jimi Hendrix. So I'm 12 years old, I'm like, Dad, what is this gi? What is this black belt? What is this picture with Jimi Hendrix? Who are you?
He was, right? Like, is there something you're not telling me, Dad? Or
international man of mystery.
Right? That's exciting, though, right? Mm-hmm. And this was all just normal to him. This was just what he did. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was his life to help my mom and to put her through school.
Boy, he loved her then, I guess. Hey, that's a big commitment.
Yeah.
To show and go, here, I'm doing this for you.
Oh, yeah. He converted religions to marry my mom.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was Protestant. My mom was Catholic, and my mom's parents told him that if he was going to marry my mom, because he asked my grandpa for her hand in marriage, and he said no, you have to convert Catholic.
Oh.
And then
How did that go initially?
Not well with, obviously, my dad's parents.
Right.
And I believe my dad's parents refused to come to their wedding. It was a mess. It was a mess. Yeah.
Did they end up going? You don't know?
I don't know.
But that's a big commitment.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Great stories. I bet you got 101 of those stories. Or do you sit with your dad? Have you sat with him and you go, the time I was hanging out with, President so-and-so or something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's, what's real and what's fake here.
Yeah.
Right.
Some embellishment.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit, for sure.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Right?
But
that's guy
it's good. And, he's got a million stories. Absolutely.
Over to the sports side then.
Mm-hmm.
When did that, was that elementary or was that high school? When did that kick in and you go, I want to play sports?
It, for me, really started when I started swimming.
Okay.
Developing that competitive drive. My cousin, I'm the second oldest of all of my cousins, and my oldest cousin, Brenna, she was a great swimmer too. And she swam on scholarship and maybe could have went further if she wanted to, but she kind of gave up swimming and she became a doctor, so she's doing fine.
Right. She's okay.
Yeah. But because growing up, I think it was maybe five or six, she was swimming, and I wanted to be like my older cousin Brenna, and so I got into swimming, and we started swimming. We were living in Essex and swam Summer Essex, whatever it was called, swim, and getting into competitions, and I started winning medals, and I was like, well, this is awesome. Right. And then
I'm competitive.
Yeah. And then it was, we started traveling, move into travel swimming, and I'm going to different regions, different areas, and winning. And then you'd come up against some adversity, and at that age, your formative years, you either crumble or you develop that grit and determination.
Right.
And I thankfully developed that grit and determination and resilience to go back, train, do better, improve, and then come back and win. And that really stuck with me through all sports. I went from swimming to then getting into cross country and track and field. And then, elementary school, you're playing like soccer, basketball, volleyball, those types of sports. And then ultimately to football in high school. And throughout that whole journey, it was just like, what's the next mountain that I got to climb?
And what was your goal at this point? Was it like, I'm going to go pro with one of these things, or?
Well, I wanted, when I started in high school, I hit my growth spurt before everybody else.
Right.
And then it stopped. Yeah. I remember.
Brakes on.
Yeah, I remember I was at a swim meet in Etobicoke, and the coach of the Canada Junior Olympic team came up to my swim coach and my dad and said, "Your son is going to be the next Ian Thorpe."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's huge.
Even I know who that is.
Yeah, he's huge. My two best strokes were butterfly and front crawl.
Okay.
And butterfly, nobody could beat me at the time.
Yeah.
And, he's like, we would love for your son to come train with the Canada Junior Olympic team. Cool. And so I started training, and my dad, looking back, I don't know how he did that, because we'd have to drive up to Etobicoke, 2 times a week. That was wild, from Essex or Leamington.
Yeah, that's a hike.
A hike.
And a half.
And I was doing well, and obviously improving, getting a lot better, having that level of coaching. But then the following year, when I started competing with them, everybody else had got their growth spurt.
There's Matt way back there.
Not way back there, but no, I had really, I had a lot of power in my legs, but it was just I didn't have that length. I'd be right there, but just didn't have the length.
Just that eighth of an inch makes a difference. Yeah.
But then in track and field, went to OFSA for 100 meter, and kind of the same thing, like year after year, getting faster and improving. What's the next hurdle? And my football coach in high school, I was on the morning announcements.
Oh yeah.
Matt Hutchinson did this at OFSA for 100 meter, and they're like, why isn't this guy playing football? So
you got recruited.
Yeah, he asked my best friend, can you get him to come out and play football? And he's like, I don't know, his parents might not let him play football, yada, yada, yada. So I had to convince my parents to let me try out for football. They did. And the first practice, coach put me back for kick return, said, okay, you're going to catch the ball and you're going to run. Try not to get tackled.
Okay.
And I caught the ball and I ran to the end zone. Nobody touched me, not even laid a finger on me. And he laid into his defense. This is the first time he's ever stepped on a football field.
Yeah.
And I didn't start right away, but I finally got an opportunity to play in my first high school game. And we're in the third quarter, whatever, we're up on the other team, and they're like, all right, Hutch, go in. And we were at our own 5-yard line, and on a Canadian football field, you got 110 yards. My first touch ever in an actual game was a 105-yard touchdown.
Wow.
And I ran the wrong way. The play was designed to go left. I ran right. Thankfully, the quarterback saw me, pitched me the ball, and then ran it down the sideline for a touchdown. The next day, the local...
That's like that one in the movie, right? That's like the Rudy thing.
Yeah, the Leamington Flyer had my picture from the game, and my coach put it on the bulletin board outside of his classroom. And he circled where I was holding the ball in my arm, and a line, and said, this is how not to hold a football. I was carrying the ball down the sideline, point up, point down.
Somebody could have just come up and...
And I said...
But they couldn't catch you to do it.
I went up to him, and now, I'm in grade 11, and this was my first football game ever, my first time playing football. I said, Coach, why'd you have to do that? And he pulled me aside. He said, listen, you're going to be good at this. I'm just going to keep you humble.
Sounds like a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
And did he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And the following year.
Don't let the ego grow too big.
Yeah.
Or don't get too arrogant. Yeah. Well, and those are good lessons to take into anything that we do, right? Because we can when we're winning. I mean, competitive or not, like we all want to win. Like my Jennifer, she's so competitive. Oh my goodness, like I don't even want to play Monopoly with her. She's so competitive, but it can get in the way, right? Of success.
For sure.
And did you ever, like, after that experience and being humbled, did that come back into your life at points and go, like, that's a reminder of, like, when my ego's getting too big for something again, and I come back to that?
Definitely. I think, whether it be in sports, like you said, whether any aspect of life. Yeah. Sometimes.
Because you are a competitive guy.
100%.
So I know.
Yeah. And I'm very reflective. Like, even over the course of every day, I reflect on my day. And, you think back and reflect, and it's like, how could I have approached this differently? Maybe it could be something as simple as a conversation. Yep. Right? Like, I said this during the conversation, and that might have come off boisterous, which would have been off-putting to somebody that isn't that type of personality, right? Or doesn't know me, right? and especially, in meeting someone new, you are more conscientious of how you're presenting and talking about yourself, for sure.
I've had to work on that myself, because I can be pretty blunt and whatever, and Jennifer will say, and I'm like, well, I didn't mean it like that. Well, yeah, but, and I'm like, oh, well, okay, that's just me, right? But they're hard lessons, right, sometimes. But your school experience then taught you, well, you mentioned before we started the camera, it really shaped you. Because I know everybody laughs, they go like, oh, he's going to ask that school question again. But I do, because I really feel it's a big part of what shapes us into what we become, or what we can become, right? And you're a learner. You love to learn, hence why you're a professor at the college. Was that the plan? Were you going to be a teacher?
No.
What were you going to do?
I always get asked this question.
You don't know?
And, I never wanted to be a teacher growing up. Even after I graduated, I never wanted to be a teacher. My grandma was a teacher. My mom was a teacher. My aunts were teachers. My cousins were teachers. I did not want to be a teacher. And
that's an honest conversation.
I never thought I would be a good teacher.
No?
No. And that moment when I was kind of had that aha moment of, okay, I like this is something that I can do and I enjoy, was my first opportunity to teach at the college. Yeah. It was just a part-time contract.
Were you
I was just going to teach one course. Yeah, I was nervous for sure. Not scared, but nervous. And it was teaching 13 Chinese students.
Oh, wow.
So that part was scary.
So there was language barrier?
Well, I learned how to speak conversational Mandarin when I was in my master's. Oh, wow. I was in a corporate partner group with...
failed right away.
I was with 2 female students from the Beijing Women's School in China in my corporate partner group. And their English was phenomenal, but they said, we want to learn how to speak better English. And I said, cool, I want to learn how to speak Mandarin. Fair trade. So, we saw each other 8 to 16 hours a day for almost 2 years. So
how could you not learn? Yeah. Right? Did you find it hard? I mean, it's always hard in the beginning because it's something new, but did you find it difficult?
For sure. Yeah. Because, again, it had been probably 4 years since I was using Mandarin every day.
Oh, okay.
You still retain. It's like what you learn French in Canada. You still retain a little bit. Yeah. So it took some practice getting back, but no, it was just teaching the students and how appreciative they were of the knowledge that I was sharing with them, the lessons that I was sharing with them, how I was teaching them, and getting that feedback from them. That was very powerful, right? That positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And especially coming from various work situations prior to that, I had worked in finance, accounting, marketing, business development, operations management, like, you know, the whole gambit of business. And there was that side of it, that constant positive reinforcement coming from the business world wasn't there to reinforce any of those opportunities being something that I was passionate or invested in.
Yeah.
And it was every day going back and teaching, and these students were just hanging on my every word and so appreciative of my time and what I was giving to them. Yeah.
Then you knew, right?
I knew.
Well, and I can confirm this, because when I started there and you brought me in there, I was like, first of all, I was like, who me? And I remember, well, it was an emotional time, if you recall, for me, because there was anyway, that's a different interview. But you are very genuine at what you do. You know, people in life sometimes get into jobs or careers, even whatever you want to call it, where they're, okay, I'm just here to get the paycheck. And like, I feel like for you, like, your heart's in it, you're genuine in it. The paycheck shows up and you go, oh yeah. Like, it's not, and you want to see growth in people, and you want to see growth in yourself. I was frightened for someone who speaks for a living. I was so frightened and nervous. I had 50, 60 the first year, and I was like, right? And you were very supportive. You never, I don't think I've ever heard a negative word come out of your mouth about a thing that's happened or a person or whatever. I mean, sure, there's always the rants, but like, you're always focused on the positive. How do you do that?
Yeah, I think it's all your headspace, your own frame of mind, and every day, you know, you choose how you're going to approach every day. How a situation or a person impacts you or says something to you and how you feel, that's a choice, right? Somebody is negative towards me, I can choose to be angry and carry that resentment, or I can choose to brush it off and let it go. Because
so when you get angry, I can't say, well, you made me angry. You choose to be angry, right? How you react.
Yeah.
Feel that. Yeah.
100%. And that's the same with, you know, any situation. Like, nobody's perfect. We're all human, and there's definitely been opportunities that I've had, work opportunities where, you know, I think this wasn't my fault that I was let go, or the business failed, or this opportunity was passed.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever that situation was. But upon reflecting, it's what was in my control that led to this. Right. And I think approaching things like that more preemptively, more proactively, has helped to mitigate those situations from impacting me. Yeah.
Are you a philosopher? Are you a philosophical guy?
I wouldn't say I'm a philosophical guy, but I appreciate philosophy.
Yeah. Where you are now, you're still at the college and part of the School of Business.
Yeah, so I'm program coordinator of the School of Business and Sustainability Education.
So that's a guy who didn't want to be a teacher.
Yeah. Well, you know, for the School of Business, I have a business background. That was my education, and
it's
like I said,
planning and stuff, it's not just teaching.
No, and like I said, I've worked in many different capacities of business. Yeah. So to bring that knowledge and that experience into the School of Business, along with my colleagues and fellow program coordinators, you know, we're bolstering the School of Business. And much like I appreciate that positive reinforcement of helping students and getting that, you know, kind of appreciation reciprocated, I also, it's kind of near and dear to my heart, and I'm passionate in helping entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yeah, I've worked in businesses where the entrepreneurs, the business owners or leaders themselves didn't come from a business background, didn't necessarily have the business acumen, Not to say that it was their fault, but because of a lack of foresight or ability to see opportunities that existed for the business, and the capacity and knowledge and know-how to be able to take advantage of those opportunities, that led to the business not being able to succeed.
Do you believe this statement, like being an entrepreneur, you're not born with it? I know you say, oh, that guy, he was born with it. Nobody's born with it. They're born capable. But being an entrepreneur is a skill that's learned. Anybody can learn to become an entrepreneur. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely, 100%. I think
because I think a lot. Sorry, I think a lot of I hear it. You know, like because I've mostly been that myself for different things, and you talk about the success and failure. Like I've had multiple businesses. Right now, I have multiple, but I've had hundreds fail. Right.
Yeah.
But I never, at an early age, I learned not to look at that as failure. I've said it here before. I'll say it again. Failure and success are friends. But I find so many people divide themselves. They go, well, yeah, well, that's not me. But I feel like deep down they want to be, but they don't think they can be. Have you observed that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there are some innate traits, characteristics that entrepreneurs possess, but a lot of the knowledge, experience, specific skills pertaining to a business or industry, that is learned.
Yeah.
Right? And you said it too. I think what makes a successful entrepreneur isn't a necessary set of skills or innate traits that they possess. It's experience.
Yep, 100%.
So many successful entrepreneurs that...
And experience and a mindset, I have to say. Like there's a different... And there's nothing wrong with working for somebody. If that's what you want to do, that's okay. It's all part of the economy. But there's a different mindset of an employee than there is an owner or a business person.
100%.
Sure, right? And you've got to be willing to make that shift. And then even from business owner to... investor or there's just a whole mindset thing going on. Is that part of the business program too that you're involved with? Like, is that the mindset thing in there?
100%.
Yeah.
Business psychology is, a pseudo aspect, if you will, of the foundational business programs like marketing, finance, accounting, but teaching resilience and determination and the other psychological aspects of what goes into making a strong entrepreneur, what goes into making a strong business leader, is part and parcel to the success of our business students. And, being a part of, back in, as 2016 to 2018 as faculty advisor of our Enactus program.
Yeah, right. Huge, amazing program.
Yeah. It's so funny because...
And you were competitive in that, if I recall, too.
We won the world championship. Right? And first college and only college ever to win the world championship.
And let's put that into perspective, because I know, but I don't think the audience knows who you were up against.
Yeah.
What kind of schools you were up against as a college.
Yeah. First, Enactus is a worldwide volunteer organization where students participate in this extracurricular program. It's an acronym that stands for Entrepreneurs in Action for Us. And students develop and work on real-world projects that make an economic, environmental, and social impact.
Yeah, incredible.
And there's over 5,000 institutions, both colleges and universities around the world, over 40 countries. In 2018, we first compete regionally, and then if we win, we go to nationals. And the national competition that year was held in Toronto. There was 75 institutions from across Canada, both colleges and universities, that participated. The final four came down to University of Ottawa, University of Toronto, University of St. Mary's, and Lambton College. And Lambton College won. So we became the first college to go on and represent Canada at the Worlds. The Worlds then was held in San Jose, California. And we were put into a league. There was 40 countries that were represented by the top school from their country out of over 5,000 institutions, right?
Right.
And the semifinal, we had made it out of the first round. The semifinal round, we were up against Mexico, the United States, and another country. The team from the United States was a little school. You might have heard of it, Harvard.
He's kind of proud of the fact and should be, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
No, that's true. Like, that's why I said, like, tell everybody who you're up against. Because I think colleges get a bad rap. Oh, you went to college. Oh, 100%. I went to university.
100%.
Right. It's not fair.
Ultimately, it's up to, and this is what I tell the students, and I share those students that were participating in the projects and led the work and were on the presenting team from that world championship team. Those students and what they accomplished and what they did and the people that they helped, the impact, the actual real world impact that they made is something that stuck with them and is an experience that they can take with them for the rest of their lives.
They'll be 82 talking about it to their grandchildren.
And every single one of those students that were participating on the team have gone on to do incredible things, accomplish incredible things, and find or earn themselves phenomenal careers.
Yeah. You stay in touch with your former alumni?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep,
and
for sure.
So you see that happen and you just go, you must be proud to know that you were at least a piece of the influence there.
That's my favorite thing about teaching.
Your why for teaching?
You know, initially when I first started teaching, I didn't have that yet. Right. It took years. Yeah. But now students that I've taught now over a decade coming back and saying, thank you, this is what I've done.
Have you gotten invited to some cool weddings or anything from students? Or
I've been invited to maybe 2 or 3. Been to a couple. Yeah. That's
kind of cool because that's kind of like the Mr. Holland's opus, right? You know, where you're later in life you're remembered and are you building a legacy? Do you think of it that way, or do you just want to impact people? Like, how do you look at this journey that you're currently in?
I think, goes back to like the humble side of it.
Yeah.
What we were talking about before, with my work and what I do, I'm just happy to share my experience and my knowledge with students because, like I said, like we're all human. We've all made mistakes. I've made mistakes, right? I've failed in business with businesses, right? Starting businesses myself. It's part of it, and it's imparting those lessons in the hope that these students that I'm teaching will hear and take to heart the things that I'm saying in hope that they won't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
And they'll learn and also help to contribute to our society at large.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a tough one that don't make the same mistakes I did because, at a young age, it's like mom and dad go, da, 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 and it was so funny. Like, I remember telling my dad before he passed away, I said, boy, the older I got, the smarter you were. Right.
Yeah.
And it's that young age, that fresh mind, that energy, that indestructibility. And I want to shift gears away. Boy, we could keep doing this.
Yeah.
Pause for 1 second.
Sure.
Okay. We got 15 minutes. Normally I can see the timer. But I can't see that. So we got, we're at 45 minutes. So we're okay. Part 2. So I want to shift gears a little bit. Boy, we could just talk about that journey for hours. We're going to do a documentary on Matt Hutchinson. But talk about that weakness. You shared something with me before, that we're indestructible, men, ego, all that. You recently had a health experience that kind of humbled you again.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back even before that. What we had talked about before was in 2019, I was dealing with a lot of personal health, predominantly mental stress. that I was dealing with, and I was reluctant to share that with anybody because of, you know, the societal belief that
stigma,
great word, stigma that, you know, men keep that to themselves.
Otherwise we're weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to, especially at that time, because I was just starting out at full time.
Right.
And I didn't want to be perceived that I couldn't handle the responsibility. I couldn't handle things at work.
Right?
Yeah. And that was a huge hurdle, a huge challenge at that time. But because that journey that I went through at that time, it was, you know, by and large successful from a personal standpoint.
Yep.
And professional standpoint, that it was well received, and there was a lot of respect that was earned from my peers, my colleagues at the time, from 100%. Being able to share that and overcoming that fear, right, of that stigma.
Yeah. And there it is again, that fear.
Yeah. That led to me being more mindful and conscientious of my own personal health, my mental wellness, etc. Now I had that confidence that I could, you know, take care of myself, right? Yeah. So it was back in the fall, I started having these, you know, spots appear, and I was like, I want to get this checked out. So I talked to my doctor, we scheduled a dermatologist appointment.
Okay.
And that was back in beginning of April. Now, it just came back that the spots were vitiligo. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a hereditary loss of pigmentation, skin pigmentation.
Okay.
So it's not serious, it's not contagious, it's not...
It's just a thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Okay.
And my great-grandfather had it.
Oh.
So, yeah, so that was news. I got it too. Yeah, nobody else in my family. I'm the one. I'm like, how does this happen to me? But it's, you know, with some people you might see it like it's on their face.
Yep.
On their hands,
I just
arms,
never
and
knew
stuff.
what it was called.
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't have anything visible.
Right.
But it was still concerning.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Still, yeah.
And so that was fine. But while I was at the dermatologist, give a shout out, Dr. Frank Spano, amazing. He was like, you know, while you're here, we'll just check you over. And he's found a couple spots that he was concerned with.
Right.
One, as I told you, just came back being a freckle.
Right. Oh, darn.
Yeah. But the other one, which I didn't even know I had on my back, just my right lower back, came back from the biopsy that it was pre-cancerous. And pre-melanoma.
And how old are you?
37.
Okay, so you're like, WTF.
How does this
what are you talking
happen
about?
to me?
I'm just getting started here in this thing called life.
Yeah. And, you know, on your lower back too, I'm like, you know, I'm not the best at putting on sunscreen. I've never been the best at putting on sunscreen.
Emily could help you with that.
Yeah, but on my back, you know, come on.
That's a test of love right there.
But no, I just recently had the follow-up last week to get it all cut out and hopefully taken care of. They sent it for another biopsy, so I got to wait 8 weeks to make sure that comes back negative. But, you know, the reason why I shared that with you was just, as I said, I was talking with another friend, telling him about this experience that I went through, which made him then schedule an appointment to go see a dermatologist so that he could get a couple spots looked at. And it's not something, as we talked about at the top of this, that men are mindful of or think about doing. And it's so important.
I just go to my family doctor and get checked, take my blood and blah, blah, blah.
But you know, I was talking with my buddy about this too, and you know, nothing against family physicians, but it's a lot of family physicians are of the mind that, oh, come back when you're not feeling well.
Right.
Give
you some pills.
Yeah, in Western medicine, there's not this preventative or preemptive care necessarily, especially for younger men.
Well, other than like saying go to the gym.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Eat healthier.
Yeah.
Go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things will work themselves out.
What's that fungi growing around my toe?
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, I know. And why is that happening? And and that's a lot of. I'm glad you brought that up, because there's a real shift in the world of medicine, to like holistic, Reiki's another one, right? That seems to be getting a little bit more respect, I guess, but a long way to go. Is that kind of what you're leaning on there?
I mean, I'm not, too far away in that side. There's definitely some things that I've done, I've listened to now over the past couple of years that have helped me. Like one of the coolest things, Joanna Burns.
Yep.
Yeah. Does live blood cell analysis. Have you ever done that?
No. It's funny you bring her up. I'm coming for you, Joanna. We were talking a couple of months ago.
Yeah. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
One of the coolest medical things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Where they just, she takes a little prick of blood, puts it on a petri dish, puts it up on a TV.
Kind of like reading your palm, but with blood.
Yeah, but with blood. And that has helped to inform me of, I can take this supplement to help my cell health.
Yeah.
Or to eliminate particular things, whatever it is in my blood, right? Or to give me more energy. Like, I found out from the live blood cell analysis I had low B12, which contributes to your overall energy levels. So I take a B12 supplement. My energy has been through the roof.
Is that right?
Right, since doing that. You
always had lots of energy, I thought.
I got more. I found more.
Wow.
Yeah, but I sleep better.
Yeah.
My exercise has improved.
Have to reach out to her.
Yeah. My mental energy too. Like you go through a day and you kind of have that drag.
Yep.
I don't find that I have that drag as prominently.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I mean? So different things like that.
This experience then has opened your eyes to a few new things.
For sure.
It was that humble. Was it the football carrying thing again? Was it like that? Yeah.
For sure, a little bit. Like,
do you know how to carry a football better?
I do. No, it was like we said. Like every aspect of life, you are presented with these situations, these challenges, these opportunities, and your mindset, your frame of mind, and how you approach these is going to dictate and determine the success or failure.
Yeah.
And
even just this conversation that we're having right now, I believe, is a part of what's coming next. Like it all connects somehow. I don't always know how. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that? That everything we always say, like, life is a choice. Yeah. I made a choice to, have too many beers and drive a car. Like, okay, bad choice. But every conversation, everybody we talk to has that impact on what's next. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Have you ever heard it's an old saying. Again, I'm probably speaking from philosophy, but success favors the bold, or fortune favors the bold.
100%.
I am a proponent, a believer that, yes, it's important to be bold and to be courageous, but fortune or success favors the prepared.
Yeah.
And that comes from our experience, our mindset, all the things that we've talked about to this point. Yes, you are the only person that can take that step.
Yeah. I like being the dumbest person in the room. My wife says I'm really good at it sometimes. But seriously, you know what I mean by that? Like I go back to my journey at the college, and with your support and others, it was like, I learned so much. And I remember telling my students, because it was in a world where, they were already surrounded with, and now they got this old gray-haired guy telling them how to do it. I wasn't the typical demographic, right? But teach me. I want to learn from you. Show me how to do this. Here's what I'm teaching. Can you show me a better way? All that stuff, right? And that's where, just wrapping up now, where did all of this come from? Is this obviously mom and dad, but who's the philosopher there, or is it both combined equally, or where did Matt come from?
You know, I wouldn't attribute a lot of who I am as a professional to my parents because they are very different in that regard. I would say, you know, my educational experience, but more so my wife.
Yeah.
She is, you know, my love of my life, my greatest partner, but also my greatest teacher.
Yeah.
And
good man.
She goes through a lot. She's been through a lot. She has had a tremendous, you know, of our whole MBA class, she's easily been the most successful and the most accomplished.
Maybe I better put her on my list.
Yeah, definitely. She actually just did a podcast a month ago. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with a local guy who has it. I'll find that out for you. But and Dave's like, it wasn't me.
There's a few others popping up now.
But no, Emily, my probably greatest teacher in that regard and supporter, and we feed off each other. Like, we've been now not only married and together for 14 years, the two of us, but we've also been in business together for the better part of a decade. Right? We've started and grown multiple six-figure businesses. So that also is how we support each other and share that experience as well, which has helped to inform both of us, right?
That's awesome.
To create both of us.
Matt, thanks for sharing a piece of you here today. I knew a lot about you, but I know a lot more about you, and now so does everybody out there. So thanks for your time in this beautiful backyard. I know we're going to talk some more before he kicks me out, but please click that love and that like button, and, you know, click the share button so we can share Matt Hutchinson's story and everybody else here in the show. But as always, that's all the time I got for you this week. Have a great week and an even better weekend. We'll see you next time right here on the show. Bye for now.